Hello everyone! You and I both knew that this day would be coming relatively soon, but we just didn't really have an exact date for it yet. But now I'm happy to announce to you that the 2024 TF2 summer update has dropped, and it is good! Now, this opinion is limited to what I have read so far and the few maps I have played, but it seems good! There are lots of fixes, lots of changes, lots of cool things have been added, and I'll be giving you a brief rundown of all of the things that stuck out to me especially. So, first off, 10 new community maps were added. We initially thought it was going to be 8, however it turns out it was 10, and most of them have come from the Tropic Crisis community update. And I can say with full confidence that that is a fantastic thing. I've only really had time to play 2 so far, both being Applejack and the Mega one, I forgot the name of it. But the Mega one is really cool. It's King of the Hill, but at the very end of the game, a bomb blows up everyone. And that's great. And Applejack just looks really nice. It looks like Harvest, yet it's actually a Capture the Flag map, which actually makes me think that Harvest would work really well as a Capture the Flag map. Of course there is a new community cosmetic case, yet there is no war paint case again. Come Halloween, it would have been exactly 1 year since we've had a war paint case. I am not a fan of that. I'm a big fan of war paints, and I'm sad to see that we're not really getting them anymore. 4 new taunts were added, and they are all absolutely fantastic. The first 3 are proper taunts, as in the kind of thing you would use to infuriate someone after you've killed them. They're fantastic, they're incredibly well animated, and, well, I was really hoping some of them would get in, especially the Cremator's Condolences. Seeing that on the workshop infuriated me, and the fact that it's in the game is just so funny. And then Unleashed Rage is an all-class taunt, which is a really cool idea. It just has the Merc crumble down in pure anger. And I really like the way this one is animated on some classes like Heavy, for example. And now something I'm actually relatively fine with, most things considered. 38 new community unusual effects. 18 for hats, 20 for taunts. And before you say that sounds bad, I've taken a look on the workshop to see some of these effects. And they look really clean. I'll throw some up on screen right now. Some of these effects look really nice. I haven't been able to gauge all of the effects that are currently in the update yet, but I mean the ones I've seen so far look really nice, and I'm actually pretty fine with that. I mean, 38 is a big number. I don't think it needed to be that big, but the ones I've seen so far have been fantastically made. So I'm not actually too upset with this number. If they're all on the exact same level of quality, then I think this is really nice. So moving on to general security and stability, we have 2 massive things to talk about here. First of all, the fix to the SV cheats thing. I think this is referring to the video that LED made, where he basically exposed this one cheat that would allow you to get wall hacks in normal games of casual. Everyone was absolutely tearing into him for making a video on this. Yet, I think this means this is patched. This is obviously not something I'm going to test personally myself, but I will wait to see for others to test it. But I think all is good. Now, the other main thing I want to talk about, we can now disable conscientious objectors in a client-side registration, which basically means there is now a box in the settings, or it might be under advanced settings, I think actually, which you can tick, which can disable all people's conscientious objectors for you. This is a change I never thought would make it into the base game, and it's so cool to see. This is really nice. I'm really happy about this. Next up, in terms of things that personally interested me, a humongous amount of seasonal maps have been added to the core rotation, and several MISC maps have been pushed back into priority. So, for example, 2 Fort Invasion is now currently in the core rotation for Capture the Flag maps. This is a really nice change, and this happened to Probed as well, and lots of other seasonal Christmas maps have come back as full-time maps, like Harp for example, which I know people really liked. And I honestly don't know why they shouldn't. More maps, more fun, I'm perfectly fine with it. I still think some seasonal maps should be kept seasonally locked, but if it's something like Harp, that, you know, I don't really consider it Christmassy just because it has snow on it, so I'm very happy that some of these maps have come back. Next up, in terms of things I want to talk about, the gas passer got a buff. Yes, this is real, you heard that right. The gas passer got buffed. It was not labelled as a buff, it was labelled as a fix. Yet considering how it has been in the game for basically 7 years now, I consider this a walk back or a buff. The gas passer now works with the Neon Annihilator, which means coating someone with the gas now counts them as a wet player. So now, Pyros can use the Gas Passer and the Neon Annihilator in combo with each other to perform critical hits. I don't know how strong this is going to be, but I do know for a fact that this is going to be a video of mine in the future. Next up, map fixes. Now, there were a humongous amount of map fixes, and also a humongous amount of community-made fixes, which I'm very happy to see Valve implement, as always. The ones that stuck out to me the most involved CP Brew, which apparently has finally had that stupid textureless lorry fixed after all this time. I swear it got fixed once before, but then it broke again, or that might just be me thinking that, I don't really know, but hopefully it's fixed for good this time. And then the last two that stuck out to me were a humongous amount of changes made to both Enclosure and Cacheworks, with Cacheworks having the lion's share of all of the changes. I haven't been able to play these maps yet, and I will let you know on a community update or a pinned comment or whatever how I feel these changes have affected the maps, but these are a lot of changes. Now, I don't necessarily think out of all of the maps in TF2, these two were the most problematic. I mean, I still think Mercenary Park could do with some changes, but I understand that's a Valve-made map and these are community-made ones, so these ones are obviously going to get changes shifted to them. But it's still nice to see, and I will let you know down below my opinion on these changes. And that's all that interested me in the patch notes, so let's move on to the cosmetics next. So, this cosmetic case that was added was, relatively fantastic, actually. Now, I know we're kind of in the middle of the boycott, and I'm not about to turn this video into a discussion on the boycott. I'm going to hold off spending money on this case for a bit. How long a bit might be, I'm not entirely sure. And I say that because the content added in this case is really, really nice. We got some absolutely top-notch cosmetics by some top-notch creators. All of these cosmetics I had seen on the workshop at one point or another, and I'm really, really happy they all got added. These are some fantastic choices. Now, in terms of where all of these hats and maps have come from, the majority of them have come from the Tropic Crisis Community Update, and this is a fantastic thing. We've had community-made updates before, and a lot of the content very rarely gets added to the game. I was still holding out that maybe some of the weapons that were designed could have been added, but I guess not, and I'm maybe fine with that. But most of the maps, most of the hats, and everything has come from this community-made update. Some of these are really, really sweet, and I have a feeling that some of these hats paired with some of these effects are going to be quite expensive and quite sought after. So overall, that's really all I have to say for this video. So far, this update looks very, very clean. As I said earlier, I haven't really had the opportunity to play a lot of it yet, but what I have played has been very nice and very polished. But anyway, that's all for now. Thank you very, very much for watching. Get online and play that summer update, and I will see you later down the sunny road.